Hello everyone, this is Julie from the OWP Canadian Division, and this video is for anyone looking for a deeper understanding of today's migrant crisis. The word migrant tends to be used as a blanket term for refugees, asylum seekers, and actual migrants, but they in fact all have their own distinct definitions. Migrants are people who make the conscious choice to leave their country for a better quality of life. For example, my father migrated from Trinidad to Canada for economic opportunity. Other reasons might include family reunion or education, but the point here is that it's a matter of choice rather than life or death. This means that a country does not have the legal obligation to take them in. A refugee, on the other hand, is someone who is fleeing persecution or conflict, and they are legally entitled to protection if their own country is unwilling or unable to protect their human rights. The key principle in international refugee law is the principle of non-refoulement. It's a French word. It basically just means that the government cannot legally return someone to a country where they face serious threats to their life or their basic freedoms. The country that takes the refugee in is called an asylum. So an asylum seeker is basically like a refugee to be. They're someone who has submitted their request and awaits a decision on their status as a refugee. Now, their request might be denied, and that might be done legally if their country is indeed safe enough to return to, or it may be done in violation of the principle of non-refoulement, which is illegal under international law. So the distinction between a refugee and a migrant is extremely important. These two categories overlap. For example, a Syrian family might be fleeing the devastating war, but economic opportunity, family reunion, and education might be motivating factors as well. Most importantly, they might have a plan to resettle permanently in Europe. In other words, they don't want to just escape and survive and then return after the war, but they actually want to stay and integrate and seek opportunities for themselves and their children for a better future. So this is why, to many world leaders, it remains unclear to what extent we should open our borders and just how warmly we should embrace these refugees who really bear resemblance to migrants. In particular, people are worried about the short-term economic burden and the threat that it may pose to the cultural uniqueness of a nation that people really seem to hold dear to themselves. Even the Dalai Lama, who upholds the principle of humanity's oneness possibly more than anyone, has said that he believes that refugees should only be admitted temporarily to Europe and then they should return to their homes after the war to rebuild. And he says this is because Germany cannot become an Arab country. So when the world's leading figure in compassion is quoted as saying there are too many refugees in Germany, then you know it's not only a legally complex but an ethically complex issue. So I hope this video gave you a little bit more insight into the migrant crisis, but I highly encourage you to look into it yourselves and continue to follow the story because it's constantly evolving. Migration is one of the greatest challenges that our policymakers are facing today, and it is one that our generation will continue to face to an even greater extent in the future because of worsening economic inequality, continued conflict, and the effects of climate change. The good news is that the Organization for World Peace is constantly publishing articles on this issue and many others, so please like their Facebook page, check out their website, and please stay informed. And thank you for watching.